All right. Now that you're in position, Miss March, let's get this lesson started.
I'm not good at acting all master-like. Since Grandpa asked me to teach you swordplay, I won't hold back any secrets.
Oh, thank you so much, Masters! Oh, wait. Does this mean our training is only officially starting right now?
After all, we need to watch you practice for a few days before we can figure out how talented you are, right?
So, how'd I do, Master?
You're definitely talented, Miss March.
Hey, here you are. Did you hear that? These two masters just called me a swordplay genius. Oh, just wait until I go back. Everyone's going to be so wowed by my new skills.
Swordplay requires rigorous training. Before we start, Miss March, you need to find a clear reason to keep you motivated while you train. It doesn't have to be something huge, but it needs to be clear.
In other words, even though you didn't exactly choose to be our apprentice, you still need to take the initiative during this learning process.
I once had the honor of learning swordplay from a master. She asked me why I started training at such a young age, why I wielded a sword. So, for our first lesson, I'd like to ask you the same question. Miss March, why do you wield your sword?
Why do I wield my sword? I wield my sword to take down my enemies. I mean, what other reason is there?
I also questioned that sword master about why she uses her sword, and she said, to vanquish my enemies, nothing more. Miss March, you gave a similar response, which shows you've got potential.
The best way to take down your enemy is with a blaster gun. I heard a hero say something like that in an immersia. He also mentioned that sword training can push a person's physical abilities to their ultimate limit.
Seems like you've seen your fair share of immersion, Miss March. But if you want my opinion, if your goal is self-improvement, you'll feel just as accomplished even if you put down the sword and go back to your bow.
Oh, come on. Don't listen to his empty talk.
Oh, now I'm curious to hear what Master Yun Li has to say.
Let me ask you something, March. Do you have any specific goals for learning swordplay? Like achieving a certain ranking in the war dance, or maybe you want to defeat someone, like Yan Qing, or me.
Who do I want to defeat? Him? Dan Heng? Himeko? Or Mr. Yang?
If you can't think of anyone specific, why not set a simpler goal? Like, how many opponents do you want to defeat at once with a sword?
I'll fight 10!
10?
Oops, that just slipped out. It's actually another line from an immersia. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think I figured out what's motivated March to learn swordplay.
Could it possibly be immersia about sword masters?
Hey, now that you mention it, that actually makes sense. I'm super interested in Xianzhou immersia and novels. Even though I use a bow, almost all the great heroes in those immersia use swords. So I want to be a sword master too.
See?
You agree, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to be a sword master?
Becoming a sword master who fights for justice and battles evil? Well, that's definitely a good reason to keep you motivated in swordplay training.
Now that you've both given your approval, I have another small request. I want to perform a tea ceremony to honor you as my masters. Remember, you'll need to tap the table a few times with your fingers.
Tea ceremony? Tap the table? Do we have to be so serious about accepting an apprentice for the first time?
Please? That's how those heroes in the Immersia show their respect.
Play along?
Let's just stop wasting time. Just treat us to some milk tea. And then we can start our real swordplay training, okay?
Yeah! All right, let's go. To the Sleepless Earl.